Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 348. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
And what is going on, sir?
What is going on? I am somewhere else.
You are finally again,
I'm
and
elsewhere.
hopefully for the last time.
Yes, the move has commenced. It has not been fully completed yet. So I got a little more time before I'm like fully situated.
Okay.
So, but you know, I at least have a setup for now. It is a very low rent setup.
That's
mind
okay.
you.
That's okay.
But a setup nonetheless.
The walls are bare, but not for long.
The walls are bare, just like my brain.
That's okay. Well, welcome back, sir. Glad to always have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Since it is half yours.
I was just gonna say, I was like, always good to have me on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, I own part of it. Don't I?
Do we own anything in life? No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all rented space.
This is true.
It really is. But thank you to nobody for covering for me last week, because Larry did a solo show. Yes, and it was I actually listened to it. And I thought it was really good talking Godzilla games.
I've been really wanting to talk about the big guy for a long time. So he's got so many movies. He's got movies, television shows coming out. He's really hitting. Actually, he just had a movie premiere in Hollywood, and I'm pretty sure he walked down the red carpet. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I hope it was like the original suit they used in like the first one.
No, it was a 200-foot giant lizard. Breathing atomic fire straight down Hollywood Boulevard.
Very cool. Was Matthew Broderick there?
Maybe. How dare he? He should be stepped on, just like Bambi was.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, wow. But I was just going to say, just really briefly on the Godzilla front, my nephew is huge into Godzilla.
Nice.
Loves Godzilla.
Love it.
He actually wanted me to track down a Godzilla game for him. I think it was on Xbox or Xbox 360, but when I looked it up online, it was going for like $250 or something like that.
Some of them are going, yeah.
It was some crazy amount, because I think it got a very limited release in the US. It was a big release in Japan, but a small release in the US, so it's hard to get a hold of it.
Not a PS4 game, was it? Maybe
I could have been.
I know there's a
sure.
I know there's a PS4 game that is ridiculous, and I don't know if it's. I have it. I own it digitally on the PS4, PS5, but I don't know if that's the same one. But I definitely heard about it. Jay over at Game On in Smithtown has definitely talked about it. So yeah, there is some sort of game out there, and it's funny. And then we'll move on. Excuse me. Like I said when I was doing the episode, I'm not a fan. I respect, one-on-one fighters. I love Street Fighter. I love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But normally I don't enjoy them. But like Godzilla was designed for those type of games.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of the films, basically.
100%.
Godzilla versus something else. So.
I don't care about the human aspect, because the legacy films are doing that. Toho started going in that direction, like with Shin Godzilla. No, I'm here to see two kaiju beating the stuffing out of each other. Less CGI, the better. If CSI is attached to it, we have a problem. But be that as it may.
CSI Tokyo.
CSI Monster Island. What is Rodan doing? I don't know. He's getting a cup of coffee. But with that being said, it was very enjoyable. Like I said, it was a topic I definitely wanted to hit. And going back and playing those games, like I said, very limited, though I have that TurboGrafx CD game that I can't wait to play. But the NES game is just...
let me tell you
one
something.
Of a kind.
I played the NES game a lot as a kid, and I really enjoyed it. I actually
it was right. It was fun, but like as we got
older,
wasn't
much to it.
It was very straightforward. You're right. It was very repetitive. So, but cool. But yeah, it was very fun. Got some good feedback on it, as we do with all episodes, and most. But today, the gods have blessed us with a topic that I know Anthony might be a little too giddy about. Something we assumed was going to happen, but maybe not in this fashion. Long story short, Shigeru Miyamoto must have been bored a couple days ago and just opted out of nowhere on Twitter to be X, actually, as it's called now.
You said Twitter. Can't take it back.
I did, yes. And just drops, hey, we're doing a live action Zelda movie.
Yeah, that was a very that was a big surprise, mostly because there were like rumors running rampant after the Super Mario Brothers movie that there was going to be an animated Legend of
Exactly.
Zelda. So it was just really, really out of left field.
So just to quote, this is the direct X post from Mr. Miyamoto on Nintendo's official X website at Nintendo, excuse me, page. This is Miyamoto. I have been working on the live action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega hit films. I have officially asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it.
Yep.
The internet was set ablaze at that point.
Yes. Well, honestly, I thought like my first thought from that when he posted that was okay, who hacked into his account?
Yeah, it was very odd because again, it was just out of nowhere. And I came
Yeah.
across it. I actually came across it very quickly, I think, because it always gives a timestamp when it was posted. It was less than a half hour. I just happened to be scrolling on X.
Yeah.
And it was less than a half hour. I'm like, what is Miyamoto doing? And you're right, the way it started, I'm like, oh, someone hacked Nintendo.
Yes. Yeah, because like I read it and it just didn't make any sense. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is so out of left field. You would think that this would be a big announcement on like a Nintendo Direct or something like that. And it's just like, hey,
Totally.
been working on a movie.
You know, or a leak, like the Super Mario Brothers cartoon movie was.
Yes.
And then now, not only that, but this I just discovered this morning doing a little bit of research. I didn't realize on November 8th, so just a few days ago of when we're recording, Nintendo actually put out an official press release, which I didn't know about. And again, if I may quote from this is from Nintendo's Japan website. The film will be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, representative director of fellow Nintendo, and Avi Arad, who produced many mega hit films. The film will be produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions, Inc., and directed by Wes Ball. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment, Inc. This is the part I find interesting, with more than 50% financed by Nintendo. So they got the majority stock in this.
Well, they're the majority stakeholder, so they can keep control over the film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The theatrical distribution of the film will be done worldwide by Sony Pictures. And then just two more quick paragraphs, not even paragraphs, just a couple lines. By producing visual contents of Nintendo IP by itself, Nintendo is creating new opportunities to have people from around the world to access the world of entertainment, which Nintendo has built through different means apart from its dedicated game consoles. By getting deeply involved in the movie production with the aim to put smiles on everyone's faces through entertainment, Nintendo will continue its efforts to produce unique entertainment and deliver it to as many people as possible. Just reading that, like I could feel the love from Nintendo going, you know, we've tried this previously on outings going, here, you take our IP and deal with it. Not anymore, especially after the Super Mario Brothers movie, the recent one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just absolutely crazy. And I think you know, I mean, let's get do you want to get into a little bit more about I know Sony is producing it, but you want to talk a little bit about West Ball and
before we get into that, I know you mentioned it a little bit, but I want to pick your brain. I want to get in there.
My brain is fried, so good luck with that.
I don't want to get far in there, but I want to get into your brain.
Hold on, I can pull a piece out of my nose.
As the de facto Zelda fan, how do you feel? First of all, how do you feel now knowing that it's going to be live action as opposed to animated?
Honestly, I always wanted it to be live action. I did. I felt like it was up there with like a Lord of the Rings style, Game of Thrones style, like that type of thing. Like I honestly thought like it could always deliver in that sense if done right with the right, you know, with a huge financial investment. I thought it was a slam dunk. So I was very happy when I heard that. I really was, because, you know, I'm not saying an animated film would have been bad. I mean, I still think it would have been fine, but I think that this one could be like the next like live action blockbuster fantasy franchise.
I agree.
So very happy with this.
And obviously after the Super Mario Brothers movie hit the theaters back in April, the first thing we talked about when we saw it, I think, was, okay, what's next? Let's go to Zelda. Again, assuming it was going to be animated. And
Right.
Illumination did an amazing job with the
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers movie. But now to see Sony getting into it as a live action, yeah, I wouldn't, like you said, I would have loved an animated Zelda movie, but live action is going to be
Yeah.
wicked. So let's talk about some of the principal players that have already been announced. So first of all, the director, Lord knows a lot of times this could all change. So, oh, you know what? It just dawned on me. And again, I always say this. I know you're like,
Ding.
but you, between the two of us, dealing with Hollywood, was this announcement? Was this shortly then after the strike is over?
Yeah. Well, this.
He
I mean,
made it.
the strike just ended a few days ago, but no,
I don't.
the announcement came out before the
Oh,
strike ended.
okay. All right. Now I just figured maybe there was. All
Yeah.
right. In any event, all right. So Wes Ball has been selected here to direct this movie. Now, if you don't know his extensive work, he's directed 4 movies so far, 3 of which already come out. The Maze Runner trilogy, Maze Runner Scorch Trials, and Maze Runner: The Death Cure. He's also directed, which is going to be coming out next year, which I saw the trailer, looks awesome. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yes.
Looks very cool. And then The Legend of Zelda. Admittedly, I've only seen the first Maze Runner, and I love it.
I thought the first Maze Runner was fun. I've only seen the first one too.
Yeah, I just unfortunately didn't get to the other 2, but I think I have the other 2. But based on, I don't know what you read, maybe what you heard about him, I don't know. Have you seen him in Starbucks when you're living in LA?
Yeah,
what do
we
you
used
feel?
to hang out all the time.
Listen, every time I was in LA, I saw a lot of people on their laptops in that little coffee joint that we used to go to.
Hey, look, it's called live the cliche.
So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, from just his short filmography, and I don't mean that in a bad way, he's done 4 movies, 3 of which was part of the same series.
Yeah.
How do you feel a director who's done really just kind of one type of movie, do you think he'll be able to, no pun intended, take the ball and run with this?
I think he's fully capable, and I think the reason why is for the Maze Runner series, like in order, like he had to have done a good job for a sequel to get greenlit. First off, or at least in my opinion. So the fact that he's got a trilogy under his belt is a good thing. Also, the fact that they trusted him with a Planet of the Apes movie, because the Apes movies that have come out have been really, like, they've all done really well. So I think the studios definitely have they definitely have confidence in him. So I think I think he'll be a good director for it.
And just kind of show him coming out of the gates here. The first Maze Runner, which was his first movie he directed, budget of 34 million. The movie made $348 million. So, something's good there. And he has his own entertainment company, looks like Oddball Entertainment, which I think now works or owned by Paramount Pictures. So again, he has that pedigree. Well, not pedigree, but he has that history looking pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Now, selected to write this film, this I'm actually very excited for. Derek Connolly has been penned, yes, pun intended, to write this movie. And I don't know if you know about him. He's done some amazing work. I mean, here.
Well, he was the other guy in the coffee shop with the laptop.
He was the guy serving the coffee. He's done Jurassic. I'm just naming some of these: Jurassic World, Kong, Skull Island, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I actually did all 3. I didn't realize he did all 3 Jurassic World trilogy. So he did all 3 of those movies. He already has experience with a video game movie because he wrote Detective Pikachu.
Oh,
that movie was great. Well, he did the screenplay. All right. I mean, what's the difference between written by and screenplay by?
Well, I mean, it depends.
Okay, fair enough.
It depends.
And he also did Rise of Skywalker, but we won't hold that against him. And Monster Trucks, which is kind of
wait, was that the one with floating Leia?
Super Leia?
Was that Super Leia?
I'm trying to remember.
I think that was
The Rise of Skywalker. I don't remember.
If it was the second one in the trilogy, then yes, it was.
Yeah, I almost left the theater at that point. But in any event, yeah. So he wrote. All right. So Alone, the Jurassic World trilogy with
Mhm.
Chris Pratt, and a big giant T-Rex. Um, so
The
right, yeah,
Yeah, as I say, well, the key thing to note with him is that he's trusted with writing again blockbuster films. So I think, yeah, I think that this would naturally be a good fit then.
yes, and he's won a couple of awards, Independent Spirit Award for best film, best first screenplay and stuff. So again, he's got that there.
Mm.
And then Avi Arad to co-produce or whatever it is. This guy
Has
is
produced
legend.
everything.
Everything, especially Marvel.
Yeah,
Going all the way back to Daredevil. No, actually, excuse me. Going all the way back to Blade.
yeah, he
Technically,
did. He did Blade. Yeah.
he did. I mean, he did. He basically was attached to every Marvel movie.
Hmm.
Almost every Marvel movie, like short of like the Iron Man, like Iron Man on. But in any
Yeah,
event,
no, no, no. He was early Marvel.
yeah, totally.
He was early
Um,
Marvel.
and so I mean, right then and there, you can't go wrong with
Mm.
him. Um, so really, not much to say about that other than just look at what he's done, and
Yeah.
bottom line, it's amazing. So it's there on the table now. So we got this Zelda movie now. No, even though I've seen a lot of posts, like in like a day after this was announced, I'm already
Hmm.
seeing like clickbait, like
Of course.
here's the cast, like making it seem like it's official. There has been no cast at this time that has been casted, but
No.
of course, everyone loves to do their fantasy casting, if you will. What comic book magazine was there?
Fantasy casting.
No, Wizard. Yeah, fantasy casting in Wizard, right? Wizard magazine.
Hmm.
Oh, hello. I'm not even paying attention. Hello.
He wanted to say hi.
Is he in the movie?
No, he is not in the movie.
Okay.
But if they ever come out with if they do the live action He-Man, that's Battle Cat right there.
Oh my God, yes.
Doesn't
Yeah,
he?
you
Doesn't he look like Battle
he
Cat?
looks, I mean, not only his color, but his face.
Yes, Battle Cat.
Actually more dye and purple, make him was
Yeah.
Panthro, whatever his name was.
Oh, yes, the other one.
Oh my gosh, awesome. So and I mean, what do you, I mean, have you seen anything as far as well, again, fantasy casting?
No, I haven't seen anything. No, he's just gonna stare at us.
Look,
Um,
it's like, wait a minute, where am I?
um, yeah, I've been wondering that too. No, I haven't seen anything like recent,
Mhm.
like since, let's say, since the announcement. But like, there's been fantasy casting for a Legend of Zelda movie for like years
A
now.
long time, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's a take your pick of young Hollywood, basically.
Yeah, and it's I don't even know almost where to start. I don't, because my
Well, do
problem is
you
I
have
don't know young
well,
Hollywood.
here's the thing. For If you were to cast it, who are the ones in your head that would stand out?
So for me, I hate to, well, I don't hate to say it. I hate to say it, meaning because whenever someone has an established character in the movies, it drives me
Mhm.
nuts when I see them play somebody else.
Yeah,
Like Chris Evans. All right, fine, he's Captain America, but he was first Johnny Storm. You know what I mean? And I
right.
get it. Everyone's getting need a job, but what's his face? Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I can
Mhm.
almost see as Zelda,
Yeah, he
different
can
movie,
totally be
as
Zelda.
Link, as Link. I think he's got the build for it. He looks like he's legitly a young actor. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, it's not like this is the 90s where they're casting like, 40-year-olds to play 20-year-olds.
True.
I think he would be tops, even though I'd hate to see it because I already know him as Spider-Man.
Well, he's also been like the rumor to play Link for years. Like he's the one where it's
Oh,
like
okay.
when rumors first came out about Legend of Zelda, oh, they're gonna make a live action movie. Tom Holland. Like he's been number one on the list for a long time.
Is that maybe also just because just his name's in the news because of the movies that were coming out and everything, probably?
Well, yeah, I mean, you go with whoever's hot, and
Yeah.
Tom Holland's one of the hottest actors in Hollywood right now. So,
So, like,
and when I say hot, I mean most popular, not
yeah.
prettiest.
What? No, I think that's McDreamy or whatever his name is, right? He just won it.
Oh, Patrick
Um,
Dempsey, sexiest man alive.
I just like, I like. They didn't interview him. He's like, it's about time. I don't know. The show's been on for 27 years. I never watched an episode.
Yeah.
So but like I said, I don't really know anybody else. I don't know
Um.
actors nowadays.
Yeah. Like the only I
I'm
came
binge
up.
watching the original Star Trek show. You
Yeah.
put a
Well,
young
there you
Kirk
go.
in there. I'm in.
Or just use the 90-year-old version in CGI with a Link who can barely move. Um. I don't know. I sat down for a few minutes and thought about it.
Mhm.
And not gonna lie, I did look up like hottest actors, young actors
Yeah,
of
I get it.
now, just
Yeah.
to kind of come up with it. And aside from Tom Holland, who I think is the obvious choice, the other ones that popped up for me that I thought could be interesting, Timothy Chalamet, who's another
Okay.
actor who's just on the rise.
Yes.
He's also playing, if I'm not mistaken, the young Willy Wonka in the Wonka movie coming out in December.
Oh, okay, now I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he might be able to pull it off. He's definitely got the lankiness
Mhm.
look to Link that could work.
Mhm.
So he popped in my head. Noah Schnapp was another guy who popped in my head. He plays Will on Stranger Things,
Okay.
and what I like about him is that he conveys drama really well through just physical reactions.
Mhm.
And I think for a character like Link, who again to this day has never spoken in
I
a
didn't even
game.
think of that.
They'll change that for the film, I think. But I think
I'm sure they would, yeah.
I think if they play around with the whole idea of like maybe he does speak in the film, but not a lot.
Mhm.
I think Noah Schnapp could be
Okay.
a good one. And then the only other one that I came up with, and again, it was because I was looking at a list, but I just remember how good he was in this movie called his name is Lucas Hedges.
Lucas.
He was in a movie called Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That's a title for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
those were the guys that I had come up with for Link. But Tom Holland to me seems to be like the one that everybody wants.
That's the name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'm looking here actually at thegamer.com, just taking a peek here. And this might be interesting because sometimes directors do this. I mean, if it wasn't for, Tim Burton movies, what's her face? What's his wife's name? Who's in like every one of his movies?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. She wouldn't.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes. Like most of her career is Tim Burton movies. But Thomas Brody Sangster, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was in The Maze Runner. Yes, no, he's not really that big of a name, but he was already in a movie that Wes Ball had a success with. And maybe I just see a tail over your shoulder.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen this episode.
So maybe to get that experience and the workability between the actor and the director, maybe it's good to go with a lesser name maybe actor for that part. Obviously if he can pull it off, and he was great in The Maze Runner, don't get me wrong. So maybe it's something to go that route.
Yeah, possibly.
So now the titular character, titular character, Zelda. The person character? Thank you, yes. Do I have to bleep that out? I don't know.
No.
A lot of names are being thrown around. The one person I do not want to see playing Zelda in this movie.
I know. Go, say it.
Princess Peach.
Oh, you mean
Anya Taylor-Joy?
Is it Anya or is that Anya?
I don't know. It's Anya. Anya.
But you know what's funny? I put her on my list.
Everyone's putting her on the list. Don't get me wrong, she's an amazing actress.
Yeah, but you just don't want her because she's Princess Peach.
Exactly. Don't unless Peach and Zelda are the same person.
I disagree. I think she would be a great Zelda.
Oh, I think she'd be a great Zelda. I don't want her to play Zelda.
Yes,
but again, who I do.
Who do you want?
They've been mentioned her as well. Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Florence Pugh is on my list as well.
Love her. Yep. Absolutely love her.
Zendaya is also on my list, even though it would be like a Spider-Man reunion.
That'd be pretty funny. If they did that, they would have to put something in there. Though, you know what? And it just dawned on me, of all the going back to the male actors for Link, out of all of them, Tom Holland's the only one I could really see pulling off. Well, excuse me.
Well, that is not going to happen in that movie.
Better drop in that movie. I'll tell you right now.
No, you know who will do it? Tingle. If Tingle's in the movie, he'll say it.
What is his? Oh man, I just had an actor's name for Tingle, of course. Who was in Eastbound and Down? Oh
Hmm.
my god,
Anyway, yeah, I think
Danny
those are
McBride. Danny
oh,
McBride would be an amazing Tingle.
I think those are good choices for Zelda. The only other one that I had on my list was Letitia Wright.
I'm
She,
not familiar with her.
yeah, you are. She is Shuri in Black Panther. She plays Black Panther in the sequel.
I never saw Black Panther
Why?
because I got tired of those movies for
Oh my gosh.
recently.
You missed like the best one.
What?
Black Panther was amazing.
Yeah, I did not watch that.
Um,
Um, but
well,
oh, and then
yes.
there's one more. I just saw a picture pop up here. Jesus.
Are you
I
okay
just heard it.
there?
There was an ad playing in my headphones. I swear to God, there was something blew up outside.
I was like,
One more person I can actually see, actress to play Zelda is Joey King, and she was in The Princess, which was a movie on Hulu
I
about
did
a
not see that.
damsel in distress who ends up kicking everybody's butt. It's actually a really good
Hmm,
movie.
okay.
Yeah. So
Take your word for it.
her I can definitely see. Now Zelda, Link, Tingle, Danny McBride, right there, sold.
Ganon
Now Ganon or
or Ganondorf.
Ganondorf, yeah, exactly.
Ganondorf.
Do you go CGI with him,
No,
or do you actually play him up with somebody?
I think you can play him up with somebody.
Okay,
I
okay,
do. I don't think you need a. Well, I mean, it depends how much of a like because when Ganon first started, he looked like this pig monster thing.
exactly.
But then they kind of made him. They gave him more human characteristics when we
Mm-hmm.
got to Ganondorf.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost see it the way I can kind of almost see it the way that they did the orcs or the
Okay,
Urkai
okay,
in Lord of the Rings. So like
okay.
I think you can get away with like a physical manifestation of him. I don't think you have to do CGI.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. No, at some point though, he would probably morph into
Well, if he
whatever
morphs,
that is.
yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
different story. But I'm saying like the version that walks around in the film,
Hmm.
I think could be yeah.
And of course, I got to circle back. One more just dawned on me. For Zelda, she was in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves, which is actually a fun movie.
Oh yeah,
Yes, Sophia Lillis.
yes, she
So
was really
yes,
good. I
she
liked
was
her.
very good. So I can
Yeah,
see her as well.
she could pull that
So,
off.
all right. So I mean, of course, there's a multitude of
But who's
yeah.
Ganon?
See, I don't. See, I feel like Ganon would have to be a more experienced actor.
Mm,
Maybe someone. Is Jeremy Irons even still alive?
I
Like I
don't
can
know.
almost see him like playing like this, like
Nah, I'm going more imposing. I'm going more. Yeah, I'm going younger than Jeremy Irons.
okay,
So,
okay,
yeah. So one guy who I saw pop up on a list that makes total sense to me, Idris Elba, I think would be
okay.
fantastic because
Hmm.
he's got the serious acting chops, and I think he would pull off a like a really
Hmm.
evil Ganondorf.
Okay.
Um,
He's Knuckles
uh,
already though.
I don't care. I'm not worried about that. The same way I wasn't worried about
Oh wait,
the same way I wasn't worried about Chris Evans being, the Human Torch and Captain America.
soon as they announced him as Captain America, it's like, no, he's Johnny Storm. He
Nope.
cannot play him. And then that takes out Sophia Lillis because she's in Dungeons and Dragons. So there
Yeah. See,
goes my pick.
you can't do that. You just can't do that. So I think Idris Elba would be awesome. I think I'd be curious to see David Harbour cast for it. He's also in Stranger Things. He's
Oh,
the
he played
cop.
Santa in Violent Nights, right?
Yes, he was Santa in
He's
Violent
great.
Night.
Oh, he's also in Gran Turismo. No.
So yeah, so I think David Harbour would be great, and then the last one that I have on my list that is a wild card one because I actually think he would surprise everybody by doing this because it would be like a complete 180 from the
Mhm.
character we're used to him. Chris Hemsworth, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's a very wild thing, but I honestly I would love to see him show a different side of
Yeah,
himself.
I don't think he's ever played a villain. Well, yes, he has. Ghostbusters. Ugh.
Yeah,
But
but I think I like that movie, by the way. But I think like seeing him try to play like an Uber villain, I bet you he can surprise everybody and really do it.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Now here's the
It's
other
just
question.
everybody's used to seeing him as Thor. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, that's not a video game, so that's okay. Now here's the other thing. Do you go original story? Do you go a like based on the first game story, or do
No.
you do something completely different? And God help them if they even try to pick from two particular games from a recent Nintendo system.
Oh, Breath of the Wild, absolutely.
I would demand my money back before I pay it.
No, I don't think you go. I don't think you go Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild is like has been set up as like a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back, if you're starting anywhere, I think maybe you go back to Ocarina of Time,
Okay.
maybe. But if you go in the canon of the Zelda games,
Mm-hmm.
Skyward Sword is the first one.
True, but to
So I
me,
don't know. I don't know what you do. Or are they going to do like what they did with Mario? Is they're going to take something more recent
yeah,
and then kind of mix in
I,
some of the earlier stuff.
probably that.
And if they do that, then we are talking about Breath of the Wild.
And then one final thing. Do you play with time in this? Like, because if you do Ocarina, then you probably going to need two links.
You
An
are.
older
You're going to
link,
need
yeah, and a
child,
younger link. Yeah.
yeah, Child Link and Child Zelda. It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see. Now, to me, like Link to the Past would be a good place to start too,
That'd be
because
pretty
you get the idea. You introduce the
good.
light and the dark world.
Yep.
But I have a feeling we may wind up seeing something more like the Ocarina story with some time travel involved.
Probably, and a little bit of originality in there, probably.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, obviously, this is very early. I mean, we're God only knows when this is going to be released.
Mm-hmm.
Years from now at this point, which is going to go like that. But nevertheless, it's official. We know it's on its way, and we definitely look forward. Well, I know Anthony's now already clearing his calendar for 3 years from now
Absolutely.
when this is ready to
I
go.
already got my movie ticket.
So, all right.
In three different cities, because who knows where I'm going to be living.
This is very true. Various continents. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously more news to come, and as it does, we'll definitely talk about it because this is very exciting. Listen to these facts. Live action Nintendo movies really have set the standard for home entertainment.
No, that's very true. Mm.
Hey, speaking of which, I have on order a my first physical media movie in years.
Oh boy.
Yes, I have ordered the 4K Super Mario Brothers movie.
Of course you did.
From Umbrella. Not the Fungus Among Us special $100
Right.
one. I
Okay.
didn't get that one. I got like the normal Blu-ray for like 33 or $38, whatever it was. So
Okay.
but to me, well worth it because I love that movie. And
Well,
coming from Australia.
Yeah, you keep loving it.
So the Aussies sending that over. With that being said, though, folks, we want to hear your thoughts about some fantasy casting, your thoughts on a Zelda live action movie, your thoughts and how you're not going to see the movie if it's based on Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild.
It's going to make more money if it does.
And where can they hit us up?
You guys can find us on Facebook.com/Retro Gamers Podcast, on Instagram @Retro Gamers Podcast, on Twitter @Retro Gamers Pod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube @Retro Gamers Podcast, or you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com.
Yes. All right. So let's get on with some other stuff. And I know you've been moving and stuff, but you cannot slack on your responsibilities like I did last week. So
well,
what do you got this week?
I'm going to half slack. I think what we're going to do, because there are so many of them, is we're just going to run through some retro birthdays.
Let's do it.
All right. Because we did say we were going to keep these episodes short while I'm moving, and I have about 10 million things to do today.
3-hour marathon. Let's go.
All right. So some retro birthdays. We have a lot of them. So first off, going to 2008.
Wow.
2008, we're celebrating 15th retro birthdays.
Whoa.
The first one I'm just bringing up because we were talking about last time we were on the show, we were talking about a version of this game. So I thought I'd just give it a shout out. 2008 was the release of Guitar Hero World Tour Decades on the Nintendo DS.
Love it.
Now, on the DS, did you just play with your, like, were you fingers
No.
pressing the screen? What were you doing?
Yes, it came with a grip. So, but this is on the original DS that actually had a
Okay.
Game Boy Advance slot as well
Oh,
as a
got it,
DS.
got it.
So you would put the grip in the Game Boy Advance slot, and you
Mhm,
basically held it vertically. And I think
mhm.
it only had 4 buttons because it only fit 4 buttons, and that's how you played it. And I think it
Okay.
drummed on the screen, if I remember correctly. Very entertaining. I long don't have that anymore, but it was very cool to play. I did not have Decades though. Like I said, I had the first one. I think we're
Okay.
on 4 or something like that. But it was very cool. Very cool.
All right. Good to know. All right. And then moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the 15th retro birthday for Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe on
Love
PlayStation
it.
3 and Xbox
That
360.
is one of my. That's like my top 3 favorite Mortal Kombat games. Just something about it
Oh,
was
nice.
awesome. And recently, YouTuber I love watching, Patman QC actually did an episode on Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. So it was pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. Awesome. The next one we have a huge history with.
Uh-oh.
It is the 15th retro birthday of Left 4 Dead
Oh my
360 and Windows.
God, that's 15. Actually, you know what? I hate to say it.
Mhm.
It's only 15
It's
years.
15 years old.
That feels actually older.
Doesn't feel older to me. I was surprised when I saw that on the list, but then I'm like, oh yeah, the timing works out because we used to keep in touch
No, I know.
playing Left 4
Yeah.
Dead when I moved to California. So
That's why I feel like you've been there a lot longer than apparently you were there.
no,
That's why I thought like this
I was
game
definitely there a long time.
I felt like it was easily older than that. But yes, this game was amazing. Like you said, it kept us all together. Of course, our epic. I don't know if it was Left 4 Dead 1, probably Left 4 Dead 2. The epic moment where it's a 4-player game you can play online, but 8 of us
Yep.
got on playing
Yes.
2 games simultaneously on the same chat.
Yes.
There was just 8 of us. No one knows what was going on.
It was just a mess.
That was
It was a
that
mess,
was
and
so
it
fun.
was
Oh my
hysterical.
god, it was amazing.
That was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are the 15th anniversary. 20th retro birthdays.
Okay.
2003, we have Need for Speed Underground on the
Ooh.
PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So for any Need for Speed fans out there.
Yeah.
And then also on the Game Boy Advance in 2003, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is
Oh my
20
god.
years old.
Great game. I believe that's available currently on the Nintendo Switch Online. Plus
Oh,
expansion pack if you have the Game Boy
very
Advance
nice.
version. Great
So
RPG.
there you go. If you
Great
want to swing back
RPG.
in, if you want to swing back and visit it this week
Yep.
in honor of its 20th birthday.
Awesome.
All right, 25th
Oh boy.
retro birthday. 1998 on the PlayStation 1, we had Oddworld Abe's Exodus.
Never got into those games, to be honest with
Neither
you.
did I, but they were very popular.
Very popular. Very popular.
Yep. Now, a game that I know you got into, which is also celebrating its 25th retro birthday this week on the Nintendo 64, WCW NWO Revenge.
Wow. 25 years. Good Lord.
25 years old. And that was probably, I think, the best one on the N64 that WCW had.
Oh, yeah, up until that point.
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah, no, we definitely had our Goldberg rule. And
yes, nobody was allowed to play as Goldberg.
Or if you were, and in Royal Rumble mode, Goldberg was immediately eliminated.
Yes,
immediately.
We had our rule, and we kept 2.
We did actually. It was very good.
All right, 30th retro birthday, and this is a huge retro birthday to bring up. Absolutely huge because it's not a video game. It is actually company related. In 1993, Sony found Sony Computer Entertainment.
Really?
30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that mean that the PlayStation is 30?
No. It was when they founded it, and if you remember correctly, that's when they started working with Nintendo.
Oh, yes.
To develop the Nintendo PlayStation that never happened, and then they said, "Fine, we did all this work. We're going to make our own."
We
and the
out.
rest is history. So
we out.
Yeah. So 30 years ago, Sony Computer Entertainment was founded.
Cool.
So huge news.
Yeah.
There. And then last but not least, I'm going all the way back to 1983 with the 40th retro birthday. And this is just a really cute one to mention. 40th retro birthday for the Game & Watch panorama screen of Mario's Bombs Away?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't think I've
You
ever
never
heard
heard of
of
that
that
one?
one. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you need to do your research.
Absolutely. Love those
Uh,
Game and Watches. I mean, I only got one right now, but I
so
love those Game and Watches.
yeah, I know you do. So yeah, and then we're not going to go through retro news today, but I do want to point out one little bit of retro news
Yeah.
because I know Larry would love to hear it. Is that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom won the Nintendo Game of the Year at Golden Joystick Awards 2023. So we can chalk up another Game of the Year award, another award to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's it. We out.